Hello and welcome everyone. It is Thursday, November 8th, 2018. Yesterday was New Comic Book Day, best day of the week. And it was another good week of books. Some great first appearances out, some great covers out, some good independents out. Man, there's just so much good stuff coming out these days. It's really hard to keep on top of it all. I know I said it was going to be a light week. Man, I really got to stop saying that. I've said that a few times and I really have to do it because, man, there's no light weeks anymore. Thanks again to all my subscribers. I really appreciate you watching my videos and sending me comments. Thanks so much. I'm going to try and get back to you. A lot of you have been pretty busy, as you know, and just haven't got back to you, but I'll definitely try to get back to most of you on your comments in this next few days. And my comic shop shout out this week is Sphinx Comics in Riverside, California. One of my subscribers, Mr. Soto Bean, asked I give him a shout out. So there's an image of the shop on the screen there, as well as the inside of the shop. And as usual, the address, phone number is down in the comments. If you're in the area, give him a shout, stop in, say hi, and set up a pull list. Check them out. Sounds like they're a pretty good shop. So Sphinx Comics in Riverside, California. You're my shout out this week. I had one of my subscribers ask me if I was going to do like a top comics of the year. And one of my first videos I did, because I've been doing this almost exactly a year now, one of the first videos I did last year was like keys for the late part of the year and what I think are good buys coming out next year or the following year kind of thing. So I'm going to try and do two actually. I'm going to try and do one where it's like top covers of the year. And it's only going to be books, just so you know, it's only going to be books that I bought, obviously. I may show images of a couple other ones. And I'm going to try to stay away from a lot of the limited, high-end variants, just because they're really pricey to get. And I'm going to try to stick to like cover price books if I can, or one for 10s, one for 25s, that kind of range. Because that's, to me, what I think is affordable to most people. I mean, I know a lot of the 1 for 100s and 500s and a lot of these really limited variants. Yes, there's some gorgeous covers, but it's kind of, I don't know. I don't recommend a ton of those. I do recommend some, but not a ton, because I feel over time a lot of them just don't go anywhere and it's not worth the money. I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, you buy what you like, but anyways. So the whole point of that is I'm going to try and do a top covers of the year and also kind of a top, what I think are the top comics for the year. So that'll be coming out hopefully in the next few weeks. I might even put one out next week. We'll see if I have time, but I'm really looking forward to doing those. Those are kind of fun to do. So anyways, we'll get going into this week's books. Actually, I'm going to show a few books I picked up. I got a few more copies of some stuff and some stuff that came in the mail. So I grabbed another copy of Thor #6, because that is that Loki, the Necrosword, and all that kind of stuff. It's a great one to get, and I love that cover. It's an awesome cover. One I didn't grab last week, and I wish I had, but it was still in my shop, was Vault of Spiders #1, because there's a new character in there, and I can't remember the name of him, but anyways, that's a really good one to get. And I ordered some copies of the Rejected #1 through the mail, so I got 3 copies of that. The only problem is, I don't know if a lot of you guys have found this, but I found the corners, I don't know if it's just the way that Source Point Press mails these things out or what, but I've got some damage. Like there's no color break, but there is a little bit of creasing in the corner, so a little disappointed about that, but not much I can do about it. So anyways, and one that I got, this is I mentioned this one a while ago. My shop got it in a couple weeks ago, and it was sitting on the shelf and they forgot to give it to me. But anyways, it's Fielder. It's 4 short stories in there, and Glenn Ganges. I kind of like, they're kind of cool, and it's a bigger magazine style size, so just wanted to show you that. That's kind of a cool one. I like those oddball ones like that. And this is one, I have to show you this. I've been meaning to show this for a while, but I was at the swap meet, a couple months ago, and I picked up this Molly Hatchet vinyl record, and the only reason I bought it because it's a Frank Frazetta cover, and I love his artwork. And that's from 1976, and I've got a book. I can't remember the name of that one. It's the Viking, or I don't know. I can't remember. I've got the name of it in one of my books, but it's just an awesome picture. It's one of his classic pictures. There's that one, and there's the Death Dealer and other stuff. But man, I just I had to show you that because it's just so cool. I love all of Frank Frazetta's artwork, and boy, I was reading somewhere that he had some of his stuff go up for auction, and it went for like $1.5 million. And good Lord, I wish I'd bought some of that stuff back when I was collecting, because damn it, that would have been nice to have. But oh well, it's the way it goes. So yeah, that's a few books that came in the mail, and one that I just didn't get last week. A couple more that came in the mail. I'm going to run through my independents, but I ordered this. I got one copy when this came out, and I ordered this online from Dungeon Comics, actually, is who I got it from. So they, but I had them hold it and just ship everything at once. So I got another copy of The Ogre #1, which is a good comic. I like that one. And I got 2 more copies of The Source #1. That's just cover A, but man, I really like that story. It's a good story. And like I say, that one's got TV and movie written all over it. So that's it for some back issues. This week's stuff, I got Punchline from Antarctic Press. I got cover A, and I got cover B in that one. And it's actually a pretty good story. I read through this one. Artwork's pretty good, and I can show a few images in here. But I really like the cover on that one. That's a gorgeous cover. And yeah, she turns into this superhero. I'm not going to give the whole story away, but the artwork's pretty good and pretty decent for an indie title. And, you know, I'm going to keep going with that one. A lot of these indie titles, man, there's so many of them they're obviously very low print runs. And this one's heating up pretty something awful. So anyways, didn't expect that with that one. Got Rags #2. Really, I like the first one. That's just cover A. There is a cover B for this, but I just grabbed cover A. That's all my shop got in, so I definitely got that one. Another really good indie title. So many of these indie titles now, like I say, the print runs are really low, and people are really starting to pay attention to them, which is good, because I've been recommending them for a long time. Just because so many of them are getting optioned, and to be honest, the stories are really good. You get good writers, good art, and the combination with a low print run means the value jumps way high on them. So this is another really good one. This is one of my picks of the week, was Road of the Dead, Highway to Hell #1. I got both covers for that. And it's funny, when I initially looked at it, I thought this one on the left was cover B and that one on the right was cover A, but it's obviously the other way around, cover A. I love the cover on that cover A. That's a wicked cover. There is a black and white of this one. I think it's a 1 for 10. I know the comic book villain, he showed it on his. He got it. I didn't get that one, but I got both of those, which I'm pretty happy with. So that is another really good independent. I'd say there's like 3 or 4 good independents. So Dead Rabbit #2 is out. I read through this one. Man, that's a good story. I really like it. That one has got TV or movie written all over it as well. So I highly recommend you pick that one up. And that was from Image, by the way. This I also got Spawn 291. I got the regular cover and the Virgin for that one. And I don't know if you guys have been reading this. I know some people have been buying them just for the covers, but it's a good read. And this one goes into the whole history of the Spawn and how they're created and stuff. And it gives this background story of the very first Spawn and how they came to be. It's a cool story, and I don't know. I mean, I bought Spawn back. Geez, I don't remember. I think I bought it from 1 up to number 50 or 60. I got to look through my collection. And then I stopped reading Spawn for a long time, and I only really started picking up Spawn again in the last year. And then I've been hunting down some of those limited covers when they're really low print runs. But anyways, I don't know if this character was ever mentioned before. That may or may not be a first appearance of the very first Spawn. But maybe somebody who's right into Spawn can let me know. But because, like I say, I've kind of been getting back into it, and it's kind of cool. The story revolves around basically they merged the god and the devil. They split the skulls in half and merged them. Like one half is evil and one half is good, or one half is good, one half is evil. And if you remember all those covers they were doing where they were showing the skulls, like there was like half a skull on one page and half a skull, and then blank. That's all. Now that you look back, you realize that that's referring to, it was kind of a hint at what was coming and how the characters is half good, half evil kind of thing. So it's pretty cool, and that's a good story. And it looks like he's building up this army of, we're getting close to 300 or something good coming, and the artwork has gotten a lot better on the inside, because it was tough some of that artwork wasn't that greatest, but the new artist doing the interior art is really good on this one. I really enjoyed that one. And like I say, I don't know if that's the first appearance of that very first Spawn, but it's a cool story. It's kind of an origin story, so it's good. I'd recommend you pick that one up if you haven't. Man, there's so many good independents this week. Boy, I really hope you got a lot of those, because they are all pretty much good ones this week. From DC, I picked up Batman number 58. I'm sure a lot of you got that one. You got Penguin on the cover. And then you got that really nice Matina cover B. Picked up Justice League 11, Drowned Earth. I got cover A. And that Matina cover B. Matina put out some great covers this week, boy. I got a couple of copies of that one. It's pretty good. You know, it's a continuation of that Drowner storyline. I was reading somewhere that there's new characters in there. Seagull. I don't think there is. I really think it's just the same group of characters. But anyways, I didn't see any new characters in there. I read through it. But anyways, I picked up Harley Quinn number 53. Because there is a first appearance of this new character called Minor Disaster that shows up in here. Now I don't know if this character is going to go anywhere, and I am going to show some images. So if you haven't read it, I don't know, you might want to hold on. But yeah, this character here, she's got this little device where she can turn it and cause Harley Quinn to do some crazy shit and that. But she shows up in a few different spots in here. So yeah, it's the first appearance of her. Her name is Minor Disaster. So, like I say, whether it goes anywhere or not, I don't know, but I try to pick up first appearances if I can. Especially if I get them for cover price. You can't really go wrong with that. Green Lantern number 1, I picked up that one. I got the regular cover. And I really like this cover. Is it cover B? Yep, cover B. Really like that cover. I don't know why that one grabs me so much, but I love the image on that. And I am not, I have to be honest with you, I do not know the whole history of Green Lantern. I've never been a huge Green Lantern fan. With it being relaunched, I'm going to pick it up and read through it and try to make sense of it. But I think there's a bunch of new characters in here. I think there's several in this one, is from what I understand. So definitely a good one to get. Suicide Squad Black Files number 1. I screwed that up so many times when I was talking in my video, in my top picks video. There is a new character in here again as well. I am going to show an image here. So it's this guy called Aladdin. He shows up just kind of near the end of the book. So yeah, everyone, this is Aladdin. So where he goes, I don't know. But again, first appearance, can't go wrong with that. Story was pretty good in that. I mean, it wasn't the greatest artwork. I thought the art was kind of more of a C plus B range, but it wasn't bad. Definitely a good one to get though. So that is it for my DC stuff. One I didn't get from them, and I called my shop and had them pull one aside, is Sideways Annual number 1. Because I think I'm positive there's a new character that shows up in that too. So if you haven't got that one, try to pick that one up when you're at your shop if you can. And from Marvel, a couple reprints. I got Venom number 6. That's the second printing of number 6, and also the second printing of number 7. I try to grab all those if I can. And I like, you know, they're lower. They are lower print runs. They're quite a bit lower than the first print, so they're good ones to get. As Guardians of the Galaxy number 3, it's kind of a cool looking cover with Thor all zombied out looking there. Looks kind of cool. This one was a total cover by Weapon X number 25. That's a Raza cover, and he's been doing some, or he or she, I'm not even sure it's a he or she, but anyways, Raza is the name of the artist anyways, and the covers, that's an awesome looking cover. I showed that one in my top picks video. I had to buy that one. Champions number 26, continuation of that Weird World storyline. I like where that's going, so I'll keep going with that. Death of Inhumans. This is the last issue in that story arc. It's this 5-part miniseries, so that's issue 5. Got cover A and cover B for that one. Infinity Wars number 5. Got a couple copies of that one. And this one does have the first full appearance of that new team, Loki and his Cosmic Avengers, so it's a good one to get. And I'm not going to give away the whole story, but it's pretty good. And while I'm talking, I don't normally give out spec books I usually keep those for my top picks video. But I wanted to talk about one other thing that happens in here. Infinity Wars, as you know, issue number 3 had the first appearance of all those mashups. If I can just find the page. Sorry, give me 1 second here, people. You get that first appearance of all the characters. And a lot of people, you know, even when that came out, I thought, oh, it'll just be for a few issues and whatnot. But in here, they actually mention that they may be sticking around. So you might want to, if you haven't got number 3, because right down here, you've got Warlock is talking. He says, in theory, a soul world free of Devondra could keep this new warped universe safe in a bubble. But we would need to control the stone. So it sounds like all those those warped characters may be sticking around. It may not be going anywhere. So down the road, they may have bigger roles to play. So if you haven't got an Infinity Wars number 3, I'd suggest you pick up a copy. The price hasn't gone anywhere on it, so it's still cover price. It's a really good one to get. Marvel Knights number 1, grabbed a couple copies of that. That is the first part. I think there's 6 parts to this. And it was pretty good. It's Donny Cates writing it. It's all about Daredevil, kind of, and it seems like everybody's lost their memory. They don't know who they are and what's going on. And I'm not going to give away the story, but it's pretty good. I really enjoyed it. And Immortal Hulk number 8. Again, man, if this Immortal Hulk has been awesome. I've had a few people say they didn't like it, but boy, it is really good. Got cover A and I got cover B for that. Now again, I don't normally do spec books, but in this one, he's inside that lab, and this lab has Dr. Fry in it. And I mentioned a while ago, I think they're going to try and merge Dr. Fry, and so yeah, you've got Dr. Fry in this, in this lab where they've got him kind of hostage. They're trying to deal with him and stuff. And at the beginning, they cut the Hulk's heart in half with this machine, and you don't see it happen, but I wouldn't doubt that they've got a sample of his tissue now, and they're somehow going to merge that with Dr. Fry and create some kind of ghost Hulk or whatever. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but they're definitely, he's been in several issues now. They're not going to have that story kind of, it's kind of a backstory almost, but they're not going to put all that effort into it if they're not going somewhere with it. So this is one you definitely want to get. This one is Immortal Hulk number 2, which is the first appearance of Dr. Fry as the walking ghost. And right at the end of and the good thing with this one, it shows his whole kind of his origin and how he became, how he is now as a walking ghost kind of thing. And then he gives it to his son, and his son dies and sees the green door and all that kind of stuff. And then right at the end, you see that he gets captured by the government agency there, and then they take him off into the lab and all that kind of stuff. So that issue number 2 is definitely one you want to get. That is because that character, like I say, they've had him in several issues now. And going forward, they are going to do something with Dr. Fry and the Hulk, somehow merging them together, their DNA or whatever, kind of like they did with Weapon H. So there is a character coming with that for sure. Another one is Immortal Hulk number 6, because in number 6, it's where they're talking. They show him now. This is the first time you see him in the lab, and they're talking about creating more monsters and everything else. So yeah, he's definitely going somewhere. So number 2 for sure. That's his first appearance, Dr. Fry's first appearance. So definitely get that one. That is it for my books this week. Some good stuff coming down the road from Image. Couple titles. Die number 1. That comes out December 5th. Cool thing with this one is the writer's Kieran Gillen, but the artist is Stephanie Hans. And Stephanie Hans has been doing some really good, some really nice covers and stuff. So she's the artist on this book, so the art looks really good. And it's about a bunch of 40-something adults dealing with horrors from role-playing days, I guess. So I know they're D&D days or whatever, and they've unleashed some evil from the past. So that looks really good. That comes out December 5th. Middle West number 1. I've mentioned this a couple times. Scotty Young's the writer, and Jorge Corona's the artist on that one. That comes out in a couple weeks, so talk to your shop and make sure that's on your pull list. Red 5, Riptide number 2, second print. I think this came out a few weeks ago. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but I know it's available right now on the Red 5 site. You can order it off their online store if you want a copy of that. Don't go pay $20 on eBay like people are asking. Just go right to Red 5. And the cool thing is, like number 1, the second print is a movie poster. So are they hinting that there's going to be a movie coming for that? I don't know. I think it's been optioned, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. But yeah, that's a good one to get if you haven't got it. From Antarctic Press, the one that put out Punchline this week, which is a really good comic and one of my picks of the week for sure. They've got, I mentioned this one before, it's called The Devils. That comes out December 19th, and the final order cutoff for that is tomorrow, November 9th. So if you haven't got that pre-ordered, call up your shop and tell them you want them to order, because they can still pre-order that now before the cutoff, and then you're guaranteed to get it. So if you want that one, I would highly suggest that one, because all the Antarctic Press comics are very low print runs, and they're cool stories, and a lot of them are getting picked up. So that is definitely one you want to get. Venom number 11. I have to give a shout out to my good friend Gino Bonino. He sent me an image of this one, and then I read an article about it early this morning. There's a Watchmen homage by Dave Gibbons, who's one of the original creators of the Watchmen. And it's the first time in 20 years he's done any work for Marvel, so it's pretty cool. He's actually done the cover for Venom 11. And it's kind of funny that Ryan Stegman started this whole hashtag Venom is better than Watchmen thing, and it was just kind of the running joke for quite a while that Venom's better than Watchmen. And it's kind of cool that they got Gibbons, who was one of the original creators of Watchmen, to do the cover for it. So that's pretty awesome. But that looks a cool looking cover. So that'll be coming out Venom 11, I believe that's January of next year, so I don't even know if you can pre-order that yet, but let your shop know you want it. Daredevil 612, as you see in the background here, I got my Daredevil 610, and this story is really good right now. It's funny, you know, I got back into Daredevil, I don't know, around issue 607, I think. It was a character I used to read all the time, and I got out of him for a while. It wasn't very good, but this story, this Death of Daredevil, is really good. And issue 612 is going to be the end of the current run, and this current story arc, which has the Vigil that just showed up in issue 610, that's a really good one to get to. And the print runs on these are really low. They're only 25,000 range, which is pretty low for a main character. And the cool thing is issue 612 has got a whole bunch of cool covers. So you got J. Scott Campbell's doing a cover. That's a really nice cover. You've got a Sienkiewicz cover. You got a Phil Noto cover. There's a cover for the Netflix Daredevil, which looks really cool. And there's also another cover. I don't know who did it. I'm not sure, but it's got this wicked looking skeleton, skeletonized Daredevil on the front. Man, that looks awesome. I love that one. So yeah, that's definitely one you want to look at, 612, because that's supposed to be something big happens in that issue. So I definitely would recommend that one. As you're well aware, Batman Damned number 2, that comes out in a couple weeks, and there is another Jim Lee variant for that. I don't have an image on the screen, but it looks good, so there'll be 2 covers for that one. I don't know if that's going to do as well as in the first issue. I don't think the Batwang will be showing up in that, but hey, you never know. Maybe Harley's chest will be showing up, who knows. Electric Warriors number 1. I've mentioned this one before. This comes out next week on the 14th. It looks pretty good. There's going to be a whole bunch of new characters showing up in that by the looks of it. And it's dealing with the multiverses and stuff, so I definitely recommend that one. Action 105, November 28th. I mentioned this one as well, but I just want to remind everybody that the identity of Red Cloud is going to be revealed in that, so that'll be a really good one as well. Anyways, that is it for this week, folks. Some really good books. Like I say, I got a couple of my indies or definite picks of the week. That Punchline is really good. That is one I would recommend you get if you can get it. Try to get that Road of the Dead if you haven't been to your shop. Boy, that is a good one. Rags number 2 is a good one from indies, and like I say, this Punchline, try to grab that one. From Marvel, boy, that Hulk is really good. Immortal Hulk is so good. That book isn't. There's nothing major that happens in it, but like I say, they are leading towards that merging Dr. Fry and the Hulk at some point. So, anyways, that is it for my haul this week, folks. Take care, happy hunting. I will talk to you later in the week. Bye for now.